Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with another brand new 2024 Safari LTD release as we've got a chance to look at the brand new Austroraptor. I have to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Safari LTD as always for being incredibly kind and sending this one over to me so I can get a look at it early with you guys. I'm super excited to have this one here and definitely again can't wait to dive into it. First we had the Megalosaurus, now we've got the Austroraptor. Seems to me that Safari LTD's got a pretty darn good lineup this year. So as per usual, let's jump straight to a closer look and we'll check this out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt of the Austroraptor, you can see we've got a really nice look for this one. I love, first of all, that crest of feathers that you see up there on the top of the head. That's a really nice touch on the part of Safari LTD and definitely helps when it comes to giving this quite a memorable appearance and a striking appearance. Like, there's no way you can look at that head sculpt and not immediately be drawn to it. As you can see, we've also got some nice variation of color. We've got some grays up here in the snout, again in the skin textured areas. As we lead back, into the head closer toward the eye, you start to see feathering pick up, and you can see we've got kind of like a variation of almost like a goldish brown, and there does seem to be a dark wash potentially tied in there as well to help highlight that feather detail, and you actually see that wash as you move through the course of the figure. We also have the nostrils sculpted out and highlighted with a different tone of color. As you move back there into the eye area, you see a white kind of outlining the eye. You've also got a red with a black pupil for the eye coloration, and we have a nice gloss coat for the eye, which we can see shining very realistically. The Austroraptor is sculpted here with its mouth in an open position, and we can see the inside of the mouth looks quite nice. We've got some nice pinkish tones in there. You can kind of see the throat back there. If we take a look from right there, we're not really going to be able to focus too well on it, but the tongue is sculpted out in there, and we can see all of the teeth look really good as well. Again, kind of sculpted together for the most part, but some teeth seem to be sculpted individually, but they're painted again pretty nicely. Like I said, in the Megalosaurus review, you can see the size of the snout here and the size of the mouth is pretty small there within my fingertips, so it's nice to see the teeth and everything painted as nicely as they are. As you lead along the lower jaw, you can see some nice scale detail in the snout. As you lead back, you again see the feathering pick up there on the lower jaw as well, and again we have this very cool crest of feathering up here on the top, which you can see has a black that runs up and over it. As you move down, you see it transition to a greenish tone. You also see the feathering kind of change as far as the style of it. Up here in the face, it's a little bit finer. As you move down, it's more almost like your classic feather detail leading down, and again we've got that very nice greenish tone. Up here in the back, you start to see a striping pick up with an off-white, and you can see that wash I was talking about, that brownish wash kind of showing up within the white stripes. But that again looks really cool, definitely adds a nice element of flashiness to the Austroraptor. As you move down here into the arms, you can see the arms are kind of held up into the body. We also have more beautiful plumage moving down. As you can see, not only do we have the greens, but we've also got more of those golden browns and blues leading out there along the arm, and the plumage there sticking off of the arm. But if you look at the underside, you can see how the arms first of all are held into the body. You can also see the fingers and the nails. The nails are painted with a nice glossy black. Same deal for the opposing arm over there, and you can see the undersides of the feathers as well, looking really good. The underside of the Austroraptor does have a light tone, kind of like a light grayish tone that picks up here in the chest region and then leads down. Again, the feather detail looks kind of similar to what we see up here on the side of the dinosaur as well. And as we continue to lead along the top, you can see the striping here ends as we get past the hip region there, basically actually at the end of the hip region, and we move down into the thigh. You can see the muscle definition kind of, even though it's mostly hidden within the feathering of the dinosaur, but you can definitely see the musculature of the calf right there, kind of make out the knee as well. As we lead down, we have a light gray for the foot sculpt. We obviously transition back to a skin textured look, pretty nice looking scales, like they really pop right there, especially in the ankle. As we lead down into the foot, you can kind of see some scoots running down the toes, and again the nails all sculpted out and again painted with a glossy black. And yes, we do have dew claws and everything. You can also see a brown wash that's been applied to the legs as well, the feet area, again like the skin textured area. As you move along the underside of the dinosaur, you can see the feathering changes again a little bit as we lead out into the tail, which does have quite the impressive display of plumage to it. And if you look from up above, you basically have the greens moving along the center of the tail, and then the blues on the outer edge basically outlining the tail, which looks really cool. Definitely, again, giving the dinosaur a flashy but at the same time quite naturalistic look. If you look from a distance, you can see how the tail leads up and then heads back down. Very bird-like for our Austroraptor. And then if you take a look at the opposing side, of course, the head's going to look pretty much the same over here as it did on the first side. As you lead down, you can see the dinosaur does have its head turned away from us. So that is one difference on this side compared to the initial side. The only other difference that you're really going to see that's super significant would be the positioning of the legs, because the arms are pretty much held into the same position on this side as again, each other. Basically, like each side has the arms in pretty much the same position. You see the striping and everything. The only difference really is the fact that this leg is just extended back ever so slightly compared to what we see on the opposing side. And then, of course, the tail curves down as we lead out. But it basically looks like our Austroraptor was just kind of walking along. Maybe it just stopped to let out a vocalization of some kind, as it's just kind of surveying the landscape. But honestly, it looks absolutely fantastic. And this is a super obscure, I would say, species of dinosaur that you really don't see get figures too often. So I'm super excited to see Safari LTD release one. As far as a size goes, for a length from the tail to the snout, about 8 3/4 inches, or just shy of 12.5 centimeters. And then for a height, you're looking at a little over 3 1/4 inches, or almost like 8.5 centimeters, pretty much on the dot. For a size comparison, there is the Safari LTD Velociraptor next to the Austroraptor, and you can see two very cool feathered dinosaurs here from Safari LTD. You can also see that they're kind of similar in size, a little bit more bulkiness to the body of the Austroraptor, and the Velociraptor is just a little bit thinner. For a few other feathered Safari LTD comparisons, we also have one of the older versions of the Oviraptor, as well as the newer version of the Velociraptor, which you can see is definitely right there in the same size range as the Austroraptor. A figure that I use quite often for comparisons here on the channel, we also have the Safari LTD Utyrannus, which you can see as well is kind of similar in size. Another of my all-time favorites from Safari LTD, we have their Dinosaur, which you can see is also kind of similar in size, but definitely a little more body mass. And the final comparison I have here is the Deinonychus as well from Safari LTD. Maybe one of their nicest feathered dinosaurs overall, which this Deinonychus definitely is. But you can see again next to the Austroraptor, they look so cool together. And, of course, they're also very similar in size. So this brand new Safari LTD Austroraptor is absolutely fantastic. Again, another really nice figure. These are the two I think I was most hyped for. Although, let's not take anything away from the Nanuqsaurus and Saltosaurus. I'm definitely excited for those as well. But the Megalosaurus and Austroraptor just look so beyond cool, and they're also two very underappreciated species when it comes to different models and figures and stuff. So I was really happy to see Safari LTD give them their due with these releases, and the Austroraptor, I would say, is very close to as nice as the Megalosaurus, though I am partial to the Megalosaurus because it is just amazing. But again, this Austroraptor is a close second as far as my favorite for this year goes. It is absolutely gorgeous. The sculpt is really nicely done, really highly detailed, and there's a whole lot of nice fine feather detail through the course of the face, leading down into much larger feathering through the rest of the body. You've got gorgeous plumage out on the tail and on the arms, and again, more skin textured areas in the feet and everything. And there's a good bit of variation of color applied to this, like the paintwork of Safari LTD's releases this year are very impressive, I would say. And again, you have the same thing for this Austroraptor, and the paintwork paintwork is really nicely applied, very naturally applied. They've also applied a nice dark wash to it to help highlight the feather detail. So overall, I think they've done a great job on the fine detail, the great job on the overall appearance and pose and everything, you know, for the sculpt and the paintwork. So obviously this Austroraptor is the total package. If you are interested in grabbing one though, the only thing I can tell you is to, of course, continue to follow Safari LTD and keep up with their website when they are stocking different figures. This one should be coming into stock at some point in the very near future, and everyone will have an opportunity to grab it then. I was lucky enough to, again, have an early access look to it thanks to Safari LTD, who sent this over to me to check out for you guys. So, again, if you are interested, check the links that I will include in the description to take you straight to the Safari LTD website where you can grab this and any other incredible figures they have up there for sale right now. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.